section where we're asking God to send us. So, so welcome in to one of our first afternoon readings of the new year of 2026. So my name is Coach King Alicia Elliott. I'm about to hop in the shower and get prepared for our masterclass. So if you have not signed up for that masterclass, the link is below. The link is below. iriseboutique.com. Click the black banner at the top of the page and grab it. Okay, so that's all I'm gonna say about that. Okay, so listen, it's really important that we are asking God to send us, because what I'm noticing, this is actually a challenging one, because this is gonna make you have to get out of your self-pity, self-will, and self-seeking selfishness. So this is really gonna challenge you when you're not feeling at your best to go serve somebody else, because he's saying give yourself daily. And if you're giving of yourself daily, that means there are times, hey Florence, that you're giving of yourself when you might not feel your best. Did y'all catch that? Because it said daily. So without further ado, the book we're reading from is Pastor Craig Groeschel. You can grab it off Amy. And basically what this book talks about is it asks God to challenge your prayer life in 3 areas. Those 3 areas are: first, search me, break me, and then send me. And in the process, we've chosen to take those 3 prayers and apply them to our weight loss and wellness journey, asking God to search us, send us, and seek us in order to get us to find freedom from the bondage to the chew, not the food. Hey, J. Marie. So we understand that tonight in the masterclass, we're breaking the bondage to the chew, not the food. Because the bondage isn't to the food. That's why you can overeat anything. The bondage is to the chew, because you need the chewing to be the cup of the calming. You got me? Hey, boo. Hey, boo. Hey, this guy. Okay? When you can recognize the cue before the craving you in, all you got to do is ask somebody who's attended the class. They'll tell you. They'll tell you the power, and this is more understandable when you understand what's happening in your brain and body. Thank you, J. Marie. Some of us, hey, Tanya, some of us just don't understand what the uncomfortableness is, so we think it's that we're hungry or we need to eat. So this is why the masterclass, along with the code, with the following me on social media, becomes so impactful, because I'm talking about it consistent enough where you can consistently be applying the things you heard in the masterclass on a regular basis. You begin to question your moves, your ideologies, your concepts about why you eat, what you eat, when you eat, where you eat. This is important. It's a game changer. J. Marie, it hasn't been a game changer. You've been to a class? Yeah, I gotta get a variety of snacks. My snacks have gotten so lame. I'm pretty much the peanut butter, peanuts girl. Like, it's just pretty much what I grab. I need to get something else over there so I can grab something more exciting. But the point is protein. I don't gotta dance. The class is really impactful. And it's not just because I'm teaching it. It's because these are the very concepts you keep asking me, what did I do? The reason why it's hard for me, how the only P, I think, have meals whipped shea butter. Ooh, shea butter. I've been talking on live for 5 years now about the same concepts. It's taken 5 years for people to get it. Well, maybe they always got it. Maybe the wording wasn't right at first or something. I don't know. But it's not like I discovered something new, y'all. I'm just giving you access to something that's already there to use it for this thing. But it's not new. I don't want you to think I've discovered something new. No. I'm just teaching you something that's hard to get taught. That's all. Okay? So I want you to think, oh, Coach discovered all this stuff. All I discovered is what works for what. I've discovered unequivocally that a certain type of movement and behavioral technique works for a certain type of craving. That's all I've discovered. But that all that other stuff was all ever existed well before I was along. Okay. So if you follow me, on Mondays, I have a client at 1:30. If you listen to me enough. So 1 to 1:30 on Mondays is a small protein snack. Because if not, I won't eat. My dinner won't come and another snack won't come until this evening at more like 7. So it's all about really making sure I stay consistent. And so when the alarm blinks on my thing, I just grab something. It's not that I'm hungry. It's that my body is timed by food, timed by the clock. So it's time. I eat like that to make sure I can get my protein in. Because if not, it's too much protein in one day to shove in a few hours. So in order to make sure I get my, listen to that tip. The amount of protein that I need every day is kind of high. And if you're overweight, yours is too. So if I'm intermittent fasting and I shut my window down, then I'm cutting off the time I need to digest and absorb the protein and to meet my daily nourishment. So I actually have to eat for more hours to give my body the proper time it needs to go to through the actual digestion process. Mm-hmm. Hi, Gray Bear. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Because if I'm 235, let's say I'm 285, I need like 144, 160 grams of protein, something crazy like that. I'm only out here getting 90, thinking I'm doing something big. Not according to my body mass. According to my body mass, I'm just maintaining my obesity because there's not enough protein to build to burn visceral fat and to build lean muscle. Did you get that tip? That's 2 tips now. Now that's 2 nuggets now. I need you to think about these things. If I'm trying to retrain my metabolism, but I'm restricting my food, how's that retraining my metabolism if my metabolism requires food to be retrained? Hi, Deanna. How are you? Hi, baby. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Margaret. You understand? I'm eating these peanuts and being funny, but I am being serious too. If your weight loss journey, your tool that you're using requires a high power protein, you can't be restricting your calories because you ain't gonna get enough protein in. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. You know what? Listen. Okay. Now, I have not said nothing about nobody eating disorder. My life does not contain no content mentioned. Did I say anything about eating disorder? No. I do feel bad, Lotta. All I said, you know what? I'm not gonna argue with you. I ain't got time to argue with them. I ain't gonna argue with them. I'm gonna I'm gonna talk to the people that's talking to me. I feel much better, baby. All I was saying was, if you trying to get your protein in and you weigh 238, how is that talking about? I said nothing about. Let it go, Kenya. They targeting me. But right now in this moment, I speak the blood of Jesus against whatever doing that because I didn't even say none of those things. I speak against it. I am while I'm trying to shake it. You see me? I don't know if y'all can see the leg shaking. I'm listen. I'm praying. You hear me praying in my breath? Like, we learning to not let it get us. I can't let it take me out of my zone because I think it's an attack because it happens right when I'm about to do what I do or what God does, should I say? Okay, we back at it. Here we go. Okay, let's refocus. So look, if you are using something that requires, so see if you're like if you're doing like high power hit training and you need a lot of protein, you know if you intermittent fasting and you only eating in like a 6 hour window, how you gonna get that much protein in? So you're gonna start losing your muscle mass because you're gonna be losing weight and all the other stuff with it because you're starving the weight off instead of losing it by building it through the muscle by eating that, breaking down the visceral fat through autophagy. You understand? Hi, Kimberly. Hey, Margaret. Let's share the live, guys. I guess that might help. I don't really know what to help. We ain't even been live 5 minutes, so I don't know. Literally haven't been live 5 minutes. We already got a thing. So, I don't know. By the way, my trash can's under this desk, so when y'all see, it's literally right under me. You probably can hear it. See, that's my trash can. So if you hear me under there, I'm not doing stuff on the floor. Hi, Luna. How are you? Deanna, thank you. Okay, so let's talk about a couple things, and then we're gonna read intermittent fasting. If you've had the surgery, I use the GLP-1. I want you to go back to the drawing board. I want you to look at the purpose of those methods, and then I want you to look at what intermittent fasting does. And if you're already doing something that's ultimately restricting the amount of nourishment you get, why would you then go add something else that restricts the amount of nourishment you get if the goal is to heal your body and be healthy and retrain it? The food for thought you think of, you ain't got to answer it right now. I want you to think about it, okay? All right, into our reading. Get you some water. Get some water. Okay. All right, into today's reading. Today's reading said, now what's the question? Years ago, I heard a pastor tell a story that I'd never forget. The seasoned preacher described how each week after the Sunday service, he'd stand by the door of the church to greet people as they left for their cars. He described the joy of hugging the grandmas and high-fiving the younger kids week after week. The pastor admitted openly that he loved when his parishioners would praise his message, complimenting him on how God used him to speak to them. But then the pastor described an encounter he had with the guy Matt that he'd seen regularly at church but had never gotten to know well. Matt was probably in his mid 40s, graying slightly around his temples. Lines around his eyes indicated he might have some challenging years in his life, but his warm smile and confident handshake led the preacher to believe that Matt was probably in a better season in life at that moment. That then one Sunday after service, welcome in guys, Matt grabs both the pastor's hands firmly and said, "Pastor, I want you to know that my answer is yes. Now, what's the question?" The pastor looked at Matt curiously. Poor guy, what's he talking about? The answer is yes. What does that mean? Not wanting to make it awkward, the pastor grinned at the man, nodded, and said, "Thank you, Matt. God bless you." The next Sunday after church, Matt approached the pastor at the door and said exactly the same thing. With a heartfelt sincerity, he looked the pastor directly in the eyes and said, "Pastor, I want you to know that my answer to you will always be yes. Now, what's the question?" The pastor assumed he wasn't hearing Matt correctly. It just didn't make sense. Once again, he nodded and shook Matt's hand and kept the line moving. The following Sunday, it happened again. This time, the pastor, welcome in Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. The following Sunday, it happened again. This time, the pastor knew that he'd heard Matt correctly, but the pastor was still confused. What does he mean by that? The answer is yes. The answer to what? Not wanting to stop the greeting line for a longer conversation, He asked Matt if he could visit later over coffee. Matt smiled broadly and handed the pastor's business card for his contact information. Of course we can have coffee. I told you my answer is yes. On Tuesday that week, the two men met at the coffee shop after finishing the obligatory small talk. The pastor leaned in and slightly said, I've been wondering about what you said to me. What do you mean the answer is yes? Matt leaned back with a look of deep satisfaction as if he'd been waiting his whole life for the pastor to ask him that question. He started talking slowly, carefully choosing his words. I was not always the man I am today. I did a lot of bad things in my life, hurt a lot of people. I was addicted to alcohol, pornography, and gambling. Those addictions ruled my life. I betrayed my wife, crushed my children, caused so much pain. Matt choked up, and the pastor could see tears forming in the man's eyes. Assuming they were tears of pain and regret, the pastor was startled to hear Matt say, "But I'm thankful now for those low times because that's what helped me to be open to Christ. You see, when I hit the bottom, a friend invited me to church, and that's when I heard you preach about the grace of Christ." When the man said the word Christ, the tears started to flow. Matt continued telling his story without even trying to hide his obvious emotion. At first, I just listened, not sure I could believe it was true for me, but after a few moments, I invited Christ into my life, and he changed me. At that point, the pastor couldn't keep his own tears back. The two men sat there silently for a moment, both changed by the same Savior, both grateful for the brief, holy moment they shared together over a cup of coffee. Then the man said, Pastor, that's why I want you to know my answer to you is always yes. Because of how Jesus changed my life through our church, I will always be available to him and you. If you ask me to mow the churchyard, I'd be honored to do it. If you need money to help a single mom, I will give it without hesitation. If you need someone to drive a widow to church, I'm your driver, Pastor. I want you to know that my answer is yes. So just let me know the question. Now that's the heart of the person that God can use. Such openness is the essence of this dangerous prayer. We're going to stop right there. Ooh, that brought tears to my eyes. Ooh. Today's date, 4/6/26. Ooh, that brought a little tear to my eye. Wow, to read his story. Wow. What do you guys think? I have, of course, peanuts leaf residual. So I'm sorry about adjusting my mouth. I'm just checking the comments, guys. What are you guys' thoughts? Talk to me. Yes, that one's pretty good. I think sometimes we forget. We get so frustrated with our weight loss and wellness journey that we forget all that God has already brought us through. And we treat God like he can't bring us through this too. But the truth to the matter is not only can he bring us through this too, he can bring us through this plus 10 other things at the same time. But we won't even give him the opportunity to do it. We won't even give him the opportunity to do it. We won't even give him the opportunity to actually make us the miracle that they talk about in the scripture. Who says you can't be free? Who says you got to be in a calorie deficit, starve yourself to death, and become orthorexic to make it? Not even. You don't have to. It's no rule. It's no rule. No rule. You can ask God to use you, to heal you, and then to send you all at the same time. Because he's a miracle worker. That's like what he does. It's like literally his job. Literally. So I'm going to go now, hop in that, and give me that nice hot bath, you guys. And make sure you get your masterclass. I'm telling you now, y'all going to sleep up on a masterclass. Go to the site, iRise Boutique, IRISEBeautiquue. If you're on the streaming software, it's the bar running across the page. There's the link. If you're on here, I just gave it to you. IRISEBEAUTIQUE. If not, what if I rise? Click on the black box at the top. It'll tell you. Link to the masterclass. Click on it. It'll take you right there. Either one. What if I rise? I Rise Boutique. You know the rest. Get your seat. It's filling up. It's actually filling up. I saw my phone have a couple tickets come in. So make sure you grab your seat so you can come. It's going to be a great time. It's always fun. Tonight will be a little different. We're going to change a little bit. We usually open up kind of with this meditation and really relaxing and ooh, 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 ooh. So we'll see. Might be a switch up. Don't want to miss it. Grab your seat. Only a few left. Have a good night. Bye, boos.